Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone's had a relaxing weekend. We're in the last week of April. I can't believe how quick this months are flying. They just keep going by, don't they? Crazy. So what have we had this morning? Or overnight rather, we've had two legs up right to a measured move. So I'm guessing this is possibly coming back to the EMA. But the market is due to open in about 15 seconds, so I generally stay out of that early stuff. So, Karina, good morning to you. Little Hammer, how you doing, bud? Exponential, good morning. Bastian, how you doing? Okay, so there is a bearish bar there. See if we get a lower high. Market is open. See if we get a lower high. So channel break, new high. Let's see what happens. Okay, we have broken higher there. So interesting. So we have made a perfect measured move. Right to the tick. I'm got a bullish move up there. See if this triggers and drops. It does look like it's good. Well, there you go. Why you can't take those first ones? Yeah, it has played out technically, and we've got a measured meg. You just never quite know what's going to happen. So is this continuing on? So I haven't moved. I haven't put it as a larger channel just yet. I want to give it a little bit of time to continue on. Let me just, yeah, okay. Let's just have a quick check. Possibly. Doesn't actually look that bad, to be honest with you. Push up, we go sideways, we find a point, we push up again. So I don't think that looks that bad. See if anybody else has got it. Not as yet. We know it's two legs up, but the fact it came back and continued up tells me that maybe there's a channel, a larger channel, but it is a bit early. So it's been a while since we've been up here. Just have a quick look at the daily. This is the highest we've been for, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the best part of 2 weeks, really. So leg and a leg. Is this going to continue down and test these lows? Hard to say. We've still got a gap there. Have we filled it? I think we have. So things have settled a little bit. There's not so much going on in the press. So I don't know. It may continue up, but this to me, now it's pushed above this, looks like it may be losing a bit of steam. So it's hard to say, isn't it, really? I mean, it'd just be a pure guess whether this thing is going to go up or come down. So let's have a look at this. So is this a channel? I think it may be. If we keep that tight to the bottom and drop this down just a fraction, it seems to fit, doesn't it? If we can get 2 legs down and test this, then that might not be a bad option to go long. But you have got to be careful because we have made that measured leg and pushed up again. So let's draw that short-term trend channel. So I'm not sure about that channel. What I will say is we've had this leg up, we've had 2 legs back, so I think there's a fair chance we get up a bit higher. But I mean, Ben, how you doing, buddy? But that'd be just call it a rough guesstimate. But we have got a push up there with 2 legs back. Just got to be careful. I'm not interested in going long here just yet. I want to see confirmation because it is 2 legs. We've got a channel with a break at a new high. So there's always a possibility it could kind of come down a little for a bit. So I don't really know, to be honest with you. That would be just guessing, really. So we got a channel there with a break. May consider that a new low. It doesn't look terrible. I'm just staying out of a long here just yet. It may work, it may not. So Marco's looking at that channel, and Thomas Wadar. Ben, you've got that on the is that the 10,000? Yeah, 10,000. Yeah, so it looks like we're in the channel anyway. So the 10,000 is telling us it's likely. I'm just cautious here going because, you know, we've got a leg down. You never quite know, do you? Could be testing this a few times, hard to say. So that for me is a bit premature, and rightly so. I'll be amazed if that doesn't stop at that bar there. I've had a few, I put in for a few payments as well, and I've had a few denials. I kind of thought they might do. I think because I had such a good March, I figured that was it now, making money every month. I took a couple of losses. I think my discipline slacked a little bit, so I'm okay with it. You know, I've processed it. I put it to the back of my head. I've just got to move on. So the good thing is my accounts, the smallest one is 2,700, the biggest is 3,600. I've got a couple around the 3,000. So, you know, as long as I play my cards right for the next 8 days, then there's no reason why I shouldn't get a payment. So, you know, I know it doesn't, you know, it doesn't just turn off like a switch. You know, you're still going to have your kind of bad days, aren't you? And but I do believe it just gets better and better over time. But that's fine. I had a good start to the month, to the year, sorry. So we're just got to play it by ear. So channel down, 1 attempt to push up, which pulled back. Tony, how you doing, buddy? So this to me is looking like it's trying to push up. I'm not convinced it's going to. I am concerned that we have a second leg down. Denied why, risking too much. There was a couple of my accounts that I moved my stop on outside my normal trading hours, so I kind of knew it was going to happen. So that's the reason why. It's just surprised me a little bit because I had such a good 3 months, and then all of a sudden things started going wrong, and it messes with your head a little bit. But you kind of have to just process it and just move on. So I've been, you know, doing a little bit of thinking and some deep breathing, and just, you know, what I will say is every time something goes wrong, it doesn't hurt as much as it did the previous times, and you do kind of toughen up a little bit, and it has less of an impact. So I think that's kind of why. So channel down, 2 attempts to push higher. My guess is this is probably going to come down below there, but I could be completely wrong. But it is a leg down with a break. Now, if this is a channel, it may hold, but my guess is, yeah, I'd be concerned about going long. I would put it that way. Yeah, they do. Yeah, I've got to say, every time I've played the rules, follow the rules with Apex, I've always been paid. Every time I've broken the rules, all bar once, I did break the rules once, but they still paid me. So I think on occasion they will. But the simple answer is, if you follow the rules, they'll pay you. And it's good that they do that, because, you know, if you don't follow the rules, they give you a rap on the knuckles and say, you're not getting paid this month, come back in 8 days. And I think that's a good idea. There is a failure there. I'm just not sure about this because of this channel with a break. My concern is this drops. It's a bit congested as well, so I think you've got to be careful. Now, on this chart, it didn't look too bad, the failure. But my concern is this has a quick drop, so I'm just sitting tight here. It's struggling to get up a bit now, so it may work, but my guess is leg down, a couple of attempts to push higher. This may come down. So, but I think the fact that they do that is good, because it does teach you you've got to be more careful. So really, by doing that, they're actually doing you a favour, in all honesty. So is this pushing up? It may well be. I was quite happy to stay out of that. It is a bit congested, to be honest with you. It didn't look too bad here. I don't know. I'm quite happy to start. It doesn't bother me about not taking a trade. There's many more things that do bother me. And that isn't one of them. So, you know, I'm happy to let it go. If it doesn't feel right, the simple answer is just leave it alone. Didn't look fantastic on here. It did look much better on there, but it is a little bit congested. So it's just hard to say. I'm not 100% convinced that channel is valid, but it's looking more and more like it now. So, I mean, I can tighten that up a little bit. But once we've broken these highs, my concern is we have maybe some form of a correction, but it does look like we've got a leg up with 2 legs back, and this does look like it may continue up. But if it doesn't feel right, I'll just leave it alone. I think Thomas Wade took it. I think Marco may have done. Yes, he did. Good on him. No, did Danny boy. Dan took it as well. It's one of those things. We had this chat. If there's a break from here, or you haven't got this channel right, there is a possibility a couple legs up this thing could drop. And when it came down, it kind of looked like it was about to. So it just didn't feel right, and it is a little bit congested. So, you know, I get why. I got no problem with leaving it. I'm taking it with Singapore. Yeah, I mean, it looked okay on the other 2000 tick chart. But it is just a little bit congested. I mean, you've got to, you know, with this channel down, I think you've just got to be a little bit cautious, but it's okay. You know, we've all got that type of different kind of, you know, feelings about risks, you know, and I go through phases. I do. I'm in quite a good place at the moment, so I'm just being extra cautious. Maybe I'm being too cautious. I don't know. I don't know. We've obviously broken these highs as well, Friday's highs, so it's hard to say. We have that big sharp pullback. You don't know whether we're going to have a couple of attempts to push higher and this is going to come down for a second leg. So So where is this likely to go? I'm guessing somewhere along those lines. Yeah, we got to push up, leg back, 2 legs up, leg back, which had a bounce and moved up strongly. So I'm guessing it's probably going to get somewhere up here. But now we're above all this. You don't know. It may push up a little bit higher, but would I have taken it the signal bars better? Well, the signal bar looked okay on this one. My only slight concern is the measured move had played out, and we'd also had this channel. It pushed up new high and came back strong. But because we've broken Friday's highs, I'm always a little bit cautious, and we have this move down, one attempt to push higher, second attempt to push higher. And all of a sudden it came down. If that came down a few more ticks, it may have broken this. So my concern was we were going to get something like this. So it's a little bit congested. See, we have a put leg down. We have 2 clear little legs up, and then it starts to come back. That's what concerns me. So I just decided to leave it, and it is a little bit congested. So I wouldn't consider it a perfect setup, but there's no, you know, it's clearly working. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? There's so much fine detail in the processing before you take these trades. And I think we're all slightly different. You know, there are some trades that Marco, I wouldn't think Dan would have took that one, but he did. I would have thought Thomas Wade would have taken that, but he didn't. So, you know, it's hard to say, really. You don't know sometimes which trades are people going to take. Now, I know not everyone uses a second chart, so is that good enough to take? It's certainly closed in the top third, but I'm just wondering, is it going to push below these? And if it does push below these, it may come down for that second leg. So it just concerns me, that's all. But, you know, I think the best way to think about this is if something doesn't feel right, just don't take it. Now, I know sometimes I'd probably be a bit overcautious, but I think I'd rather err on the side of overcaution than thinking, oh, let's give it a go. I try. It doesn't always work. I try and not have that thought process. Okay, let's give it a go. I try and wait for something to make me do it. So if it looks that good, you'll hear me say sometimes, I like this, and I'll jump straight into it. I try and wait to get that feeling. Now, the only downside to that is you do miss some trades, but on the upside, you do lose less. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those things. Thomas Wade didn't take it because he had bad signal bar. What we got? What's floating around here? So there's our break. Now I'm wondering whether there's something like this. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a great signal bar. In fact, let's have a look at Thomas's. I thought he would have done. Yeah, so Thomas Wade had basically the same signal bar as me. Exactly the same signal bar as me on this chart. But I think a few others did as well, but they still took it. So I don't know. So is there something like this? I think maybe. Let's have a look at Dan's a minute. Yeah, see, look, Dan had the same signal bar as me and Thomas Wade, and he still took it. So that's what I mean. Sorry, that was Marco, my mistake. I think Dan must have had the same chart, though. But is that the type of thing I would see? See, this doesn't look terrible. Channel down. We've had a few bounces here. You just got to be a bit cautious. I've seen Mac take worse signal bars than that, so will Mac take that? He may do. I wouldn't be shocked if he does. Jan, how you doing, buddy? But yeah, it's just not brilliant for me. There's too much stuff that says caution on that. It is a bit, you got to argue it's a little bit congested. When we have that push down, you don't know whether we're going to get a break. So it's just one of those things. Same thing there. Is there a bigger channel like this? It kind of looks like there does, but we got a channel down with a break. We haven't made a new low yet. Now, some may take this. But I'm just cautious. If you're buying that and it's triggered and come down, I'll be amazed if it doesn't stop you out, but it may hold. I think really you've just got to kind of, wait till you're kind of happy with something. This is saying caution again. Same sort of thing. It's a bit uncertainty there. I mean, channel down with a break. I don't know. I don't know is the answer. It's not making me feel all warm and fuzzy, put it that way, taking a trade here, but it may well work. I think the trick is if it doesn't feel right, don't take it, because if it doesn't feel right and you take it, you'll kick yourself, and that's where tilt takes its place. Now, if you've got a higher low here, that may be better, but we've had a possible break here. Well, it looks like a break, so it could come down for a second leg. There could be something like that. It doesn't look the worst, in the world, but is this going to come down and stop that out and possibly stops below here for a second leg? I'm not so sure. It may do, it may not do. And not only that, at least prices were above the EMA. Everything's below the EMA at the moment, so that's got to be a red flag in itself. So if you took that one, it's bound to get stopped out, isn't it? If you took that one, you may have your stop below there. That's intact at the moment, but my gut feeling is it's probably going to get stopped. I can't see it doing that and not coming below there. I really can't. Now, if this is a channel now, we're already out of it, so I don't think it is. So, yeah. So, this is a break to me now. That looks okay. This is a break. Now, we're above Friday's highs, and we haven't been this high for a little over 2 weeks. So, is it going to push higher? Are we going to get a bit of a correction? I'd say there's more chance of a correction if this thing does continue higher, or it could go sideways. I got to say, I think there's so much more skill involved in taking trades successfully on the ES than there was 3 years ago. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't find it this hard. I saw a lot more trades. Things were a bit clearer. It's almost like, kind of these, I don't know, these traders, these institutions, the algorithms kind of get wise to how people trade. It's probably bullshit, really. I've heard, some traders saying no one's out to get you, no one's after your stops and all this sort of stuff. But I don't know for sure, so I don't know. I have heard Tom Hugard say it's a load of rubbish. No one's after your stops. No one's trying to take you out. It's just if there is a bunch of stops here, it's liquidity. So, you know, sometimes it'll, but I don't know. So leg and a leg. It's not, you know, it's not straightforward. So see, if this is a break, it looks like a correction. And sometimes I see these work and work well. Other times I've taken these when they're not wide enough apart, i.e. like that, they tend to fail. But what I will say is there is support here. So if we get a bounce here, high or low off here, I don't think would be the worst trade in the world. Where the signal bar looks nice or not, it's not what matters. It's the underlying PA that matters. The signal bar before. I absolutely agree. Which I mentioned that earlier. I've seen Mac take worse signal bars than that because he's reading what the market's doing. I mean, a few ticks later, that may have been a little bit more bullish. On your chart, you know, compared to mine, it still might be a little bit more bullish. On a different 2000 tick chart here, it was more bullish. I think the thing that kept me out of that more is it's a bit congested and we've got a leg down with a couple of pushes up. So my concern was we have this like this now. So we have got some support here. We've had a bounce and a bounce. So I wouldn't necessarily take a trade straight here, but a higher low back to the email I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, bud, you know what it's like sometimes? I think sometimes I tend to go from being overcautious to sometimes a bit careless, and it's trying to find that nice even balance of, is that a perfect setup? No, because we've got a channel down and two pushes up, and we've broken Friday's highs, and we've been up here, so we could get a bigger correction. Is it a bit congested? It is. So I think there's just some concerns there, and the way I am at the moment, I kind of trust my gut. If something doesn't feel right, I tend to just leave it alone. You know, I don't mind losing a trade, but if I have that little voice telling me I shouldn't be taking this, and I take it, those are the losses that frustrate me and make me do stupid things. So I think the best thing to do is just, if it doesn't feel right, just leave it alone. And you're going to do yourself more harm than good taking the ones that don't feel right, I think so. But you know, we're all slightly different. You know what I mean? Everyone has their slight different level of risk. You know, and I know here's a good example. What's his name? Bart. Now Bart plays the numbers. He doesn't seem to have a problem with taking losses, so he plays the numbers. And overall, he'll take more trades than me, and he'll probably win more money than me. I don't take losses, so I wait for something perfect. So, you know, it depends on you, doesn't it? It depends on you. It depends on how you feel. It depends on how much you're risking. There's a bunch of reasons. So this is coming down like there may have been a break. Depends how you've got it. I suppose if I come down from there and then put that there may have been a small break. Is it enough of a break? Not really, because when we have a small break like that, does it rarely pull out a tiny touch and push up? So I don't know. I think it fits kind of nice, you know, and we may push up, but it may be the fact that we've had a measured leg and we've broken above Friday's highs. So what do you do? What do you do? I mean, that's quite a pullback, isn't it, for that? That's over the 100% mark for sure. Well, it's the other way around, actually. But yeah, it is. Or is it bouncing? I don't know. Doesn't look like a correction to me. It looks like more of a reversal to me. So we're below that 50% line a bit. So I can't see this pushing up now. It may do. I don't know is the answer. There's not a lot you can do here, really. We may have had a small break. I'm not massively convinced. But if I bring that to the very tip of that bar there and take this up to the low there, I mean, that's negligible. I have been caught out with a trade like that before, and Max says we've had a small break. So maybe it's small enough. But everyone I see who's got that channel, well, maybe they have got it as a tiny break, but it's really negligible. You know, if let's have a look. So Thomas Wade hasn't got that as a break. He's got it as a possible small break. Possible small break there. Thomas hasn't. If we flick over to Dan's, this is Dan's. I'm not sure what this is. He may have a small, I don't know. That looks like a different chart there. That does. Excuse me. You know, that's fitting. Marco, he's not got it as a break because it's here. So he's got that as a fitting channel. So, you know, sometimes it's just not super clear, is it? So Marco hasn't got it as a break. I think most people haven't. But it's part of the reason why I left that, because we've broken these highs. It may reverse now. It may end up ranging. Who the hell knows? I need a whiskey. I don't know. Trading's been hard lately. There hasn't been a lot of setups. And the trouble is, when you don't get a lot of setups and it's volatile, I think sometimes patience can get the better of you, and I think that's probably what's happening. I have spoken to a lot of traders that said they found it really hard. So it is hard. You know, it's times like this, it really calls on your patience. And if those patients falter a little bit, it's very easy to get a bad month, and I think that's what happened to me. And I felt it. I had a really good January, February, March. March was the best month I've ever had. I think went just shy of $12,000 in March. The best month I've ever had. And then all of a sudden, April, that was a proper kick in the teeth. So this doesn't look like any type of a pullback or a correction to me. So it looks like a channel, that does. So we got what I would consider overnight highs here. So if we can get a second entry short here or two legs up, that may interest me in going short, or we may test the top of this area here. There is a second entry short there, but that's a million miles from the EMA, so that's a no-no for me. Thomas Wade, we retrace 60.8%. It looks too much to me. I mean, that's a straight down drop. Now, I'll be shocked if this thing pushes up. Now, having said that, you know, is there something larger there? There could be. There may be. Who knows? So a leg up, we got a pullback, 2 attempts to push higher and a pullback. So we had a leg down, 2 legs up and a leg down, and then off we go. So it may do. So I actually kind of like that, because that is very nice and tight and snug. Now there may be something larger there. But either way, we've had a break, so I'm just going to kill that colour. This doesn't look like it's making attempts to push higher. This looks like it's moving up, but I don't know. There may be a small overshoot if you got that. I don't know. We've only touched it once there, and you could bring that out and say once here, so nothing you could do. Yeah, you've got to be more patient now than you've ever had to be, I think. I mean, I've been trading now for about 4.5 years, and I don't remember conditions being this hard. So much chop, you know, bigger ATRs, regularly bigger ATRs, and just, you know, quick moves in, you know, last week, just now and again, we'd have a quick move, 10, 15 points quickly. We've never really had that before. Now, I know all this stuff with Trump and tariffs and all this stuff that's happening in Ukraine and all that's probably got a lot to do with it, but I wish things would settle down. I mean, people tell me the conditions during COVID were great for traders, but bad news like that, you'd think it'd be very volatile. But people seem to think COVID, I think I started the learning to trade at the back end of COVID, so I never had that, who knows. So maybe it will push up. Certainly only one leg and we're above the EMA now, so so Thomas Wade is playing the new high and the downtrend. Looks like it's gone too far for me. It just doesn't look right. What do I know? So if you've gone short there, this to me looks like it's moving up. So we've got a channel with a break, a new high, and that will be a lower high. It's very tempting.
Order submitted.
22 ticks, that's the downside.
Order cancelled.
Hasn't triggered anyway. It's just something I don't like about this. Now it's stacking up a bit. Thomas Wade is considering a failed second entry long. Trouble is, it's stacking up now. It may well work, but I just don't like this. Oof. I mean, you are going to have longs in there, but it's just stacking up now. And when it stacks up, a lot of times you'll have a leg up, sideways, and a leg up. So I'm sitting tight here. My gut feeling is this may push up for a second leg. It's definitely going to be shorts trap there. That didn't trigger. Well, it didn't trigger on mine. Could argue a triple test, but it's just too risky, I think. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. There may have been other times where I'd have jumped all over that, but I think this is a bit risky. So that didn't trigger, so I'm guessing that's probably going to get stopped out. So leg, sideways leg. My gut's feeling it may push up. There is a higher low there. There's bound to be shorts there. But is this pushing up for a new high? If it is, it might not be a terrible place, but this has come down too far for me. No, it may well come tumbling down, but it might not. I haven't got a clue, really. That's a coin toss for me. Push up. We could have 2 attempts to go lower, and it may push up, or it might. There's probably going to be longs there, maybe. There'll be shorts there that are holding. It could just drop, or we could have 2 attempts to go lower, and off it trots. So I don't know at the moment. You know, EMA's flat. It's either side of the EMA. I wouldn't want to be in that trade, but or equally, I wouldn't want to go short either. So you got to sit tight here. Two attempts to go lower. Are we going to push up now? If you've got that bigger channel, this may be an overshoot, so we may get a leg and a leg. Second entry long. Do you really want to go long? Maybe. It hasn't. Trouble is, there's no space now. Look at the size of the bar. Is that going to push up? Quite possibly. It's 26 ticks though. And you want to go long into that? We just got to sit tight here. So we are testing. There is support here. You can see it, which we are testing. So that may be an indication. If it can't get through that support, it may come down for a second leg. So 1, 2. I mean, if we get a triple test here with a big bearish bar, it may not be a terrible option to go short. But often we go up, across and up. So we'll see. Spain, France, Germany, Portugal. Yeah, I saw something on the news earlier on. I don't know what's going on. You'll probably enter if it breaks. Yeah, I mean, you can see we got support there and it kind of follows across, doesn't it? So we'll probably make a few attempts. If we get a big bearish bar here that triggers above here and doesn't push up, then my guess is it may come lower. I don't know is the answer. If you've, you know, if you can ask yourself, what do you think it's going to do, go up or down, and you don't really know, the only obvious conclusion you can come to is you just got to stay out of it. You've got to have a bit of an idea where you think it's going. Does it look like the start of a channel? I don't know, is the answer. If I was going to take this trade, it would just be a punt. Or as Dan calls it, one of his screw it trades. I think he calls it his screw it trades. So, but we do see this a lot. I don't know how many thousands of times I've said this. We push up, we go across, we push up. So what I will say is there's still longs possibly in this, and there's probably still shorts. But whenever it goes up and starts to go sideways off, and it goes up for a second leg. But is it going to make 3 attempts to push high and then dive? No idea. So there's probably going to be some stops above there, I'd have guessed. This does look like, unfortunately, they may cop the brunt of it. It does look like 2 attempts to push higher now. Not a great signal bar, but it clearly looks like 2 legs down. We push up, we have 2 legs down. So my gut feeling is it's going to push up for a second leg. But it's got to get above there, which I think it'll probably do. So as soon as it breaks up, it pulls back, but then pushes up again. So now most breakouts fail, but my gut feeling is this. It's going to push up higher. I don't know, here's the answer. I won't want to go short here. I won't want to go long just yet. Does look like congestion though, yeah it does. It's hard to say. It may trigger this bear bar and continue on up. I'm really not sure at the moment. Oh, excuse me. I mean, we've struggled to get up. Now we're above all this. It hasn't gone nowhere. It's pulling back. Or is it? It does look like a hidden second entry short. Excuse me, sorry. It's on my way right now. I'm sitting on my hands, the right answer. This to me, how it's holding here, I think it's probably going to continue up. Although I didn't think it was see, we've broken below there and now look, it's starting to move. It's just not super clear, is it? I mean, we could have 2 pushes up and this thing could absolutely tank. There's definitely support there. You can see it seems to be struggling to get through. Now, is this thing going to take a nosedive? of yawns. I mean, it's holding here. It is going sideways, but it is holding. So I'm guessing it's probably going to get up. Once it gets so high, I'm just thinking what might be stopping it. Excuse me. Okay, we're above it all now. So my guess is now it'll probably continue. I mean, we could have a channel down, we could have a leg and leg, and this thing could drop. You know, there's a bit of support along here somewhere as well. Around about there. So, but sideways, leg up, sideways, leg up. Struggling to get up, but it's just very slow at the moment. There's been very little volume overnight, isn't there? How long have we been going for now? Best part of an hour, and it's very low. Market opened around about there, so up with a drop and back up. It's very slow today. Some nice weather coming in the UK this week. Could see 30 degrees Celsius, which is a record for this time of year. It's lovely out there at the moment. I've got my sunbed out there. I bought myself some sun cream earlier. I'm going to go and get myself a tan tomorrow. Excuse me, just 1 second. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a minute. Wow, we had a quick drop and instantly a pullback. Interesting. So, let's have a wee look. Carl, when that dropped, I bet everyone was thinking this thing's going to take a dump. Well, So it could just be 2 legs up there. I'm still not convinced this thing's going to push up for a new high. We've made a measured leg. Wow, there we go. Yeah, my gut feeling, 2 legs up. This is coming down. It does look like 2 legs, doesn't it? There's going to be stops down here. Well, stops, liquidity, whatever you want to call it. But we got this big move down with a couple of legs up. Leg and a leg. We got a leg down. With a possible correction, we could get another leg down. So, do you know what as well? The frustrating thing is I don't even think we're going to get a lower high. I think this is just going to drop. Once this starts to come down, I think traders thinking this is coming down 2 legs up and it's going to clean a lot of this liquidity out. And when you get that idea, it rarely comes back. I hope it does. So we got a leg down, 2 legs up. It would be nice to get a lower high. I don't think we're going to.
Order submitted.
We may, but it could push up. We could go bounce, 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 and this could go high. It's hard to say. I mean, I could have it completely wrong. We'll see. There's going to be liquidity here. I just don't think we're going to get anything worth taking. I mean, I may have it wrong. It could be bouncing on here. But that to me looks like a correction after this leg down. We get nothing on here either. This is not strong enough, this, for me to go up. This looks quite weak, and we've pushed up, we've gone sideways, we've pushed up, so we've had a measured leg. My guess is this is going to drop and take out a lot of this. Now, whether it will, whether we'll get a setup is a different matter. I don't think there's any type of a larger channel there. I don't think so. I mean, depends if you got that channel. If you got that channel up, we've already had a break in a new high, in my opinion. So, break new high. This is coming down, I think. Unfortunately, like I say, sometimes it just doesn't give us an entry, which is a shame. Look at it. It's just going to drop. It's just going to drop. It's no entries, nothing you can do, unfortunately, but it's going to drop for me. So maybe a hidden second entry long may give us a hidden failure. It's just going to drop. Once it comes down so far, I think people just give up and think it ain't going to work, and it just drops. Here we go. Here we go. Once it gets below here, it's game over then. Yeah, it's too late, which is a shame. There we go. So whether there is a chance, I don't like that. It looks like two legs to me. Strong push below. Unfortunately, it didn't give us a lower high or anything. I kind of had a fair idea we're going to get this second leg down. Maybe we get a breakout failure, leg, correction, leg. I think we're going to get a second leg down here. But unfortunately, when it starts to become apparent that's what's likely to happen, it just drops. You know what I mean? It's frustrating, really, to see that move of down, 25 points and just no way in. We're looking for an area in here. I mean, look at that, 15 points near enough. But leg down, correction, leg down. I don't even think we're going to get a pullback. But we can't get a drop in here because I guarantee the second we decide to take a drop in, take a short here, it will come up and stop you out. So if we can get a pullback, which I don't think we will, something like this, around about there, will get us down to the same place. But look at it, it's got no legs. No one wants to push that higher. Frustrating. This is just going to go. Yeah, damn it. But you can see it, leg down, correction, leg down. Look at that. Oh, it pisses me off sometimes. Pisses me off. Look at it, see? Not a chance. Too little, nothing, and then straight down. So let's see if we get anything here. I can't see it myself, but you never know. Have I still got a short up here? I have, yeah. So channel down with a push up. Let's see if it retests this. Leg down, 2 attempts to push higher, leg down. So if we can get something like this, to there, and then around about there, that will get us to about the same place, maybe slightly higher, but it's not even going to break above there, which is flipping frustrating. All of it must be super thin today. It just got stopped out. Profit with 2-point slippage. Yeah, there's just not a lot of, there's not a lot going on, is there? Leg down, correction, leg down, take us down to here. 2 smaller legs down will take us down to the same place. So is this a fail breakout that's going to trap shorts? I'm out. You're done. Yeah, you take it easy, buddy. Got to get a second entry short here. As tempting as it is to take a bearish bar, as tempting as it is, I got to get 2 attempts to push higher, which is my setup really. It is very tempting. I'm just going to close that order just a minute in case I forget. It is exactly a shame, yeah. We pretty much know where it's going to go. The trouble is, one thing I found is if you jump in when you haven't got a setup, sod's law, it takes you out. And when you know you shouldn't do it, if you lose a trade, that's what I used to find that sent me on tilt. Could be, yeah. It's weird, isn't it? When you do nothing, the thing... Thing drops like a bloody stone. As soon as you decide to jump in, it shafts you, doesn't it? I know it's frustrating. If we get a lower high from here, that, you know, that would interest me. Strong push up, loss of momentum a bit. But my guess is it's going to come down. But you have to take a setup because it just what can I say? I can't even get my words out today. You do nothing, it'll drop. Second you jump in there, that's it. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's nothing you can do. You just got to sit tight, haven't you? Absolutely, because if you take a risk and take a loss straight away, at least your next win is just covering what you've lost. So absolutely, you know, perfectly said. You can't just take a loss out of patience, because all it does, or take a trade out of patience, all it does, if you decide to jump in when that thing starts to drop, comes around and takes you out, and then straight away you're playing catch up. And it is frustrating. Sean, how you doing, buddy? It looks like it could go up. Does it really? Let's have a look. It's a tough one, this is. Could be a leg down, could be 2 attempts to push up, and it could come down for a second leg. So we've had a leg and a leg up. I'm not sure, actually. I think possibly I think actually the latter. Leg up, leg up. It may drop down. I mean, we push down, we have 2 legs up. We could come and try and test this again. But with such a big move, I'll be surprised if it gets to these highs. I wouldn't be shocked if this thing takes another nosedive. Trouble is, this is pure speculation, really. You know, we do talk a lot about possible this and possible that, and it could do this and it could do that. That's not enough of a reason to get into a trade. Hey, Chris, how you doing, my friend? You well? So, yeah, I mean, it could be 2 legs up. Who knows? I don't know is the answer. You could argue that it's something like that. Channel with a small break. Maybe he is, maybe. I think that's the type of thing that Dan would do. Could go. Yeah, it could, is a simple answer, yeah. And if that's the best you've got, that you can't take a trade based on that, can you really? Like an example, break to the left. Yeah, it's just, and they're safe. There's nothing worse than losing your patience, getting in, taking a loss, because you got the frustration then. You know, we all get those trades once in a while that you love. You can't click the button quick enough. I think the simple answer is you've got to wait till you get that desire to go, I like this, and nothing more really. Unfortunately, we don't get a huge amount of those, so it's that worry that you may sit here for a week and not take a trade. Looks to me like it got a new highs according to PA. Yeah, it's a tough one. My guess is, because we had such a big push down, we had 2 legs up and a big strong move down. So it's trying again, but it could be 2 attempts to push higher. And looking on that 10,000 tick chart, let's have a look. Big move down. It could be 2 legs to push up, and this thing could drop for a second leg. It's hard to say at the moment. You know, there's reasons, you know, for both moves, but push up like that, strong move round. We've made 1 attempt to, you know, to push higher, and we had a strong. I think it depends what it does here, but it could go up. There's reasons to do both. It could push up for a new high, or it could drop. And unfortunately, it's just, what can you do, mate? It's not clear, is it? No. And it's keeping that patience and not, you know, trying to find a trade that's poor because you feel like you've you know, I've got to take a trade. The trouble is, sometimes when you look at other discords and stuff like that, and you see he took a trade there, he took a trade there, and sometimes you'll see a comment, yeah, I took that for 2 points. And when you hear that, sometimes you can get that. Why am I not taking trades? It's very easy to get that sort of, I need to do something, you know what I mean? But you really don't, actually. You're much better to not take a trade than take a loss. See what I mean about that? Channel break new high. So look at that 10,000 tick chart. All of a sudden now you've got a bullish bar there. This is starting to look very bearish all of a sudden. So that was my concern, that this thing comes down for this second leg. So looking on that 10,000 tick chart, we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, pull back, second attempt to go higher. That thing's starting to come back. Now, will it come back enough to make a second leg? I'm starting to think maybe. But who knows, ultimately. You don't like that reaction, no. I mean, it's trying to get higher, but it doesn't seem to have the legs, does it? We had this bit of its struggle there. We had a big drop. So, who knows is the answer. So all of a sudden, look how bearish that 10,000 tick chart was looking. Look at it now. Look, push down. Could this be 2 attempts to push higher and then down? So if you decided this thing's coming down, let's have a jump in here. Look at that. Is this starting to just go a bit rangy? I think it may do. It is starting to look a little bit rangy. So with leg up, it could come back up to here. I don't know. So what I will say is we've pushed off the bottom. We've only got up so far. Let's see where this move gets us. Anybody know when the next CPI is? I'm going to have a go at I might have a go at either a 150 or a 250 account. I'm starting to think it's worth probably getting a few of those. I like the fact that you can maybe trade a little bit more contracts or have a little bit more drawdown. So I might have a go at the next one. In fact, let's have a look. Oh no. For a while. Oh, crikey. 15th of May. Oh, 15th of May, according to that. Two legs up. Two attempts to push higher. Tempting to look for a short up here. Two legs up. Second entry short, or well, maybe a lower high off the top of this. Okay, interesting. So, just send Max chart. It's not dissimilar. I've got it as a bit of a range, but everything else is probably the same. He's got that as a small break. That's fair enough. He's just literally put it on here. Marco general momentum is on your side if you're longs. Yeah, it kind of looks like it there, doesn't it? You just never know, though. Sometimes this market's got a habit of just, I don't know, screwing with your brain in it. So, yeah, so he's got that as a push-up, not as a break. So I suppose really Max got it like that. Two bounces here. So I think you'd have to think this is more likely going to push up to these highs. Kind of looks like two legs, doesn't it? It's got a bit further than I like, really. I think it's within, was it 61.8, which I think it's about as far as you go. So, yeah, I think you kind of think this is probably going to go higher. Yeah, I'm still not convinced this won't have another go at pushing lower. was my concern. Just looking at this 10,000 tick chart, we got a leg down, 2 attempts to push higher. It's not out of the woods yet. It may just come down and bounce on this middle line. We kind of did it here, didn't we, a bit? We came up, we came down, we had a bounce, and then it pushed higher. So, okay, I'm just going to take a quick break. Just going to take a quick 3 to 5 minutes, make myself, oh, look at that. Big push up and then a massive big drop. Yeah, I'm staying out of this. Okay, so I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, 2 legs up. Second entry long, possible failure. Ooh. Second entry long that's triggered. Something I don't like about this. It's just stacking up at the moment. It didn't trigger anyway, so not that I'd have taken it. It's just a bit too stacked up. We got 3 bars side by side. Yeah, my gut feeling is it's more likely to come down, but you just got to be careful here. It is 2 legs up, so, you know. It's not super clear, I will say. It may work, but it's just something I don't like about it. That's not what you want to see. That
Order
looks better.
filled.
I like the way it's pushed up. Still something I'm not sure about.
Order filled.
Second entry long. I don't even know why I took that, to be honest with it. I like the way it... I don't even know why I took that. It pushed up, broke above this, and then came down. Why? I don't even know why I took that. Yeah, I got... I don't know why I took that, to be fair. It just... I don't know the way it pushed up and then looked like it was coming down for a second leg. I mean, I'm taking 1 contract, so that was like 1... Bear bar was good, but you didn't. No, I didn't. Just what it is, we've got 2 legs up, we got a leg up, we got 2 legs up, big bearish bar, came down, another bearish bar, came up, didn't trigger above it, pushed down, came back to the EMA and started bearish straight away. So impulsive, just jumped in. I shouldn't have taken it, which is why I got out. I was just thinking, why did I take it? I don't know. Sometimes you see something you like the look of and you take it. I don't know. Welsh, Cornwall, Edinburgh, Manchester. Yeah. Do you know when it pushed up, didn't get to this and started to drop straight away? My gut feeling this was going to come down to these lows. I thought it's going to stop out. We push up with a pullback now. There's bound to be stops in there. So Liverpool. I'm not far from those places, actually. I'm about 55 miles from Liverpool, about 70 miles from Manchester. Yeah, I got out of it. There was something. The trouble is sometimes that's the thing. When price is moving quick, I'm glad I got out of it now. When price is moving quick, it's very easy to think, oh, there's something I like here. You get a bit impulsive. I don't do it as much as I used to, but it does still happen, and that's a perfect example. So I'm glad I got out of that when I did. So at least it's considered a win anyway. If it's over $50, it's considered a win. Yeah, I mean, at the time, we had a push down, we had a big push up, and that dropped bearish. We had another bearish bar, another bearish bar, another bearish bar. For me, this was going to push down. But there's something about it, I didn't like it, and I decided to get out of it, and rightly so, because it would have taken out. That's the trouble with fast-moving markets. Your heart rate gets a little bit, and it's very easy to take something a little bit too impulsive, and it can get you into trouble. So I don't know. I'm looking at the 10,000 tick chart as well, and this thing looks like it's going to drop. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. But something just made me a bit nervous, and I got out. I think that's the key. If you get into a trade and something doesn't feel right, just try and get out with something. So at least I got in for something anyway. Just like the way it triggered above and came down, but I managed to get something out of it. So there we go. And then it starts to, it was that stack out when it came back and pushed up and started to drop. Emotions just took over. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is, we get that push down, 2 attempts to push high. I think my gut instinct tells me it's quite likely going to get down to these lows. It's a leg down with a couple of legs up. It's a bit clear on the, still a bit choppy, but it's a bit clearer. We've got a leg on the 10,000, leg down, 2 attempts to push higher. So there's a bearish bar here. There's probably likely going to be longs there, maybe some liquidity. So my guess is it's probably going to come down for a second leg. The trouble is with Pats, you've got no room for error. Now, if anybody watched Penguin lately, he wait for it to push below the EMA. He doesn't now. If he sees 2 legs up and thinks this is coming down, he'll sell here, put his stop up here, and then put his profit down here. So he gives himself some breathing space. And if you get it slightly wrong with Pats, we've got no breathing space. You've got 1 tick above the signal bar. And as we know, when prices are choppy, it's got a habit of overlapping itself and clearing out. If you notice when that pushed up, it pushed above there, but not here, and then started to work down. So it's clearing. It's almost like a minesweeper, isn't it? It clears sort of mines in its way. And that's the problem with Pats. You've got to be very, very good and very accurate. Otherwise, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, you know, I do like Penguin style trading. It's just, it kind of looks easy. But it's a little bit hard, and you think sometimes it's clear, other times it's not. And I am tending to watch him and trying to pick a little bit more moves up, because I like the fact that, you know, with his, you've got space with a stop. Excuse me a second, sorry. Sorry about the language. Someone knocked at the door. The dogs have got a bit of barking. Okay, second entry short here on the 10,000 tick chart. Can you see it? Second entry short came down, triggered above there. So this for me is coming down to these lows. Unfortunately, because it's a bit choppy, price has a habit of backtracking and clearing out liquidity on its way, but it looks like a leg and a leg, that does. So my gut feeling of this pushing down, I think, is right, which would take us down to these lows. So if you were taking a trade on micros there, that wouldn't be a bad place. Take a trade there if you were trading that. Second entry short or a failure. In fact, this is a 10,000 tick chart. You know what I'm going to do just for the fun of it? Oh, no, sorry, just leave it. I don't know why I've even got that there, actually. Let's put it back. So isn't it weird how it comes back and stops these out and then does exactly what you... yeah, see, that looks a little bit better there. So that looks okay. So there wasn't a second entry short there. There was the failure. Then we got a new high. So there's the recount. But my gut instinct, channel down, 2 attempts to push higher, and then down for a new low or maybe a second leg. So I had the thought process was right. We had 2 legs up. You can't take a short here. 1, there's no signal bar. 2, if you wanted to short here, that would be the safer place to do it just in case. But it is 2 legs up. So my gut feeling is we were going to attempt to push up and then this thing was going to fail, which it has. I got in, I think it was around about here. I got in a bit early. I can't remember now. But the idea was right. The direction was right. It's just, I think it was this one. It pushed up. I jumped in here on the way down and it's impulsive again. Leg and a leg. So let's put these back. So that's initially was my thought process. Somewhere over here and then down to these kind of lows. Just looked like it come down too far really to get any success about hitting the new highs. So 2 attempts to push higher. Unfortunately, no really gritty entry. You may have had a go at that. If you believe this was coming down for a second leg, tightly under that EMA and pushed up and clearing out this probably wasn't a bad place to go long. If you, it technically wasn't a pat setup, but if you'd have had it like this, you may have said with a break 1, 2 pushes to go higher. So although it wasn't by the count, that looked to me like an interesting place to go short. Jay, how you doing? What trade did you take? I got in here, mate. This pushed up and I dropped in here and managed to get out for a, what did I get, a 1.5, $50, 4 ticks, 5 ticks, 1 contract, isn't it? So 150 is 3 points. So I got in for 2.5 points. Is that right? 12, 2 points. 1 point is $50. No, is that right? Yeah, 1.5, something like that. I think it was that one when it pushed up and triggered and started to come down. I jumped in here a bit impulsively. But you can see what's happening. Leg down, 2 attempts to push higher and leg down again. Unfortunately, there's just no real way in. That one, if you believe this is coming down for a second leg, I don't think it's a bad option to go short there. We got a channel down with 2 pushes up. It's not technically a second entry, but you can clearly see this push up, come back, push up, and then all of a sudden nice and tight under there. So I don't think there's a bad place to go short there if you want to take something a bit risky. But you know, the thought process was right, or the direction was right, just not the execution. But I managed to just, I think if you think you've gotten a little bit impulsive, the best thing to do is just get out of it with something, because if you decide to think, oh, let's give it a go, it's just as well. You know, I understand getting into a trade impulsive, but then you've got 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 seconds to think about it and to think clearly and think, actually, I made a mistake here. Let's just jump out for something. Fortunately, I managed to get a little bit out of it. So 2 legs down. Would I go long here? No. High or low might make it to the EMA, but my guess is it's quite likely going to come lower, but we'll see. That fail breakout is so tempting, that one there. Do you know why I don't take him? Because I'm crap at him. Because I'm seeing leg down, 2 attempts to go higher and a leg down. So I think it's bearish at the moment. Now, when we break these lows, there's bound to be traders taking profits. So it makes sense we get a small pullback. But then when these bars trigger, my guess is sellers are going to come back in. So it may get back to that EMA, but I avoid these because I never have much success with them. I'm no good at them, really. We kind of have our strengths and weaknesses, don't we? He took it. Yeah, I mean, if you know what you're doing, yeah, there's no issues with that, I think. I just don't like them. Whenever I tend to take them, they don't work. That's probably down to me, nothing else. Yeah, and that's what I mean. If you do them all the time and you're confident in them, it's just something I've never done much of them. You know, the bits I have done, I just tend to get it wrong, so I tend to avoid them, really. I tend to earmark them, but it's clearly a channel with a break and a new leg. Definitely 2 legs, isn't it? Or close enough. Probably slightly more than that, but I still think this is going to come down. Leg, 2 attempts to push higher. My gut feeling is it's probably going to come lower. He does take them, yeah. The thing I like about him, while he's a nice guy anyway, he doesn't worry about losses. They don't seem to affect him. Now, don't get me wrong, he does take his fair share of losses, but they don't seem to affect him. And it is a numbers game. He'll play the numbers, which is the ideal way to play it, really. If he thinks there's a trade, he'll take it. You know, even higher risk ones. I'm a little bit more paranoid and a bit more scared than him. He's got a lot more sort of confidence than me. He's been trading a lot longer than me. I think he's been trading 10 years or something. But if he sees a trade, he just takes it. And that's the ideal way to do it. But it depends how you feel about losses. Losses and me aren't really a match made in heaven, to be honest with you. My gut feeling this is going to come down further. But I can't just get into a short here. Who's that? Bart, his name is. See if I can find him. There we go. That's him there, Bart. I don't think he's taken it. I'm not sure. He hasn't marked it anyway. He's not. Oh, he's taken some bits. He's taken a. Well, I'm guessing that's 1 loss, and he's $2,000, I think. So I'm guessing that's probably an evaluation, but I'm not sure what he's taken here. But he's a nice bloke, actually. Okay, so we pushed in, and then we failed again. He's got in too early on the failed breakout. Let's see. See if we get a second entry short here. I'm still thinking this is going to come down for another leg. We've come up to the EMA and dropped strongly. So I'd want a second entry here. This to me, channel down, 2 attempts to push higher. I think this is going to come down lower. wonder if there's something like that. I've already done that once. I think I have, haven't I? Touch, touch, touch. Big strong move down. I don't think we're going to get a second entry, but it would be nice. You can't short right after an overshoot. I was hoping we'd get a second entry short come up here and then drop and sit below that line, but this thing is just coming down, I think. We've had an overshoot, we've pushed straight back in, but immediately, once we've ticked above that, immediately dropped straight out. So my guess is this is coming lower. Quite likely for this measured moves and possibly testing some of these areas or clearing some of this out. Leg up, 2 legs back. Depends, it may not come down all the way. Unfortunately, straight back up and straight out. No other entries. It seems to be doing this more and more. It doesn't give us opportunities. I think it's as if traders are thinking there's no point in even trying to push this thing higher now. Look at the pattern. It's coming down. What about going long here, are you? Yeah, my gut feeling is this is coming down some more. Mind you, there is support here, so it may hold, but after this, after we had that push down, I was looking for 2 attempts to push higher. We had that one attempt, and we had that one a second attempt, and that was it. It just came down. So after this bottom, there's probably going to be liquidity sat around there. So, and that takes us to that measured leg. So I'm guessing it's going to clean that out. Yeah, okay, so that's cleared any liquidity out there. So let's see if it gets that measured move or whether it comes lower. Okay, right to the tick. So, channel down, 2 clear attempts to push higher in the way of 2 smaller moves, and then straight down for that measured move. We'll take a good bull bar here. Trouble is, you don't know how far it's going to come down. Is it going to come down here? It's hard to say. And at the moment, we are kind of... Do you know what? Something I used to do so much of, mainly when I was taking evaluations. It's weird. I trade in the right direction. I wouldn't go short in an uptrend with a PA account, but I seem to do it with evaluations. I can't seem to not do it. It's odd why I seem to. Probably because of lack of patience. I'm thinking, well, that far from the EMA, I can't go short here, so what's the only other option? Instead of saying, let's be patient and wait for it to get back there, I go long. So what happens? It triggers me and comes down some more. So just when you think this thing can't go any lower, you're thinking we may have a bit of an overshoot here. We've already made a measured leg, and you think it can't go any lower. So what happens? You end up jumping in a trade here, going short. You put your stop here. Going long. You put your stop down here. What happens? Comes straight down, takes you out. Just when you think this thing can't go any further and you think it's got to retrace, what happens? It almost works like clockwork. You're thinking, there we go, overshoot. It can't go any lower. And then all of a sudden you jump in. Let's try it again. Let's see, just for the fun of it, let's put that there. Let's put a stop down there and think, there we go, we'll go long. Let's do it around about there. At the top of the bar. Or where it was initially when I mentioned it. Let's see what happens, see if it does push up. Thinking it's got to go up now, surely. Whenever you're trading like that, the second you seem to get in, it goes up and then comes straight against you. It's uncanny how it works. I don't know how many evaluations I've blown by trying to reverse the market. Although I've heard Max say 1,000 times, don't try and, trade against the market. I mean, if you were trading these silly and aggressively, you'd still be better off going short that far from the EMA than buying that far from the EMA. They are. So the second you get in, what happens? It comes down further. It's weird how it works, but if you're trading silly, you've got no issues with going long there that far from the EMA, but in a downtrend, you wouldn't want to short that far from the EMA. It's weird, isn't it, how it kind of works? It's weird how you do things strange when you're trading aggressively. It's the lack of patience, I think. Come on, it's only cheap. Let's go. Let's have a jump in now. See if we can't get an evaluation. You jump in there, triggers you, comes straight down, stops you out. It's weird how it works. It doesn't seem to matter what you're doing. The trick is just you don't take long trades in a downtrend and vice versa, because just when you think it can't go, well, right at the bottom here, it can't go any lower shortly. What happens? It continues down and takes out the lows. We've made a measured move. We've clearly had 2 legs down. There's an overshoot. It must go up. I can't tell you how many accounts I've blown like that. You can't do it. Take it from me. I'm the idiot that's done it 1,000 times. Just carelessly, because of lack of patience, trying to rush things, trying to get lucky. It just don't work. cancel them along there. Yeah, it's just not really worth it. On the odd occasion it works, but 8 times out of 10, if we're coming down, 8 times out of 10 as a rough guess, it'll come down before it goes up. You know, we've all heard, you know, you got more chance of winning a trade or closing your eyes and going short in a downtrend. Doesn't really matter where it is, you still got more chance of winning a trade that way. And then obviously it depends where your stop is. So we've got the overnight lows here. Is that going to push lower? You'd have to think so, wouldn't you? You didn't like the second entry just after the market opened. You're on about there. You're on about that one, I think, Bud, aren't you? Ninja just opened trades without me touching anything, did it? Whenever, if you've already been in a trade, that fair, I'll talk about it in a sec. But if you've ever been in if you've been in a trade, sometimes when I take a trade, there's a couple left here. Don't right click and cancel them. Just go onto your dashboard, disconnect and reconnect, and they'll disappear. If you leave them there, I'm not sure whether they do trigger. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. That one there was a few reasons why I left it. It's a little bit congested and it's a channel down and it looks like 2 legs up, and then we have a bit of a pullback. Not a fantastic bar on here, although it still closes in the upper third. It actually looked better here, but my concern was channel down. You know, a lot of times if you look back here, we have 2 legs back before it pushes up. We didn't. We had 1 leg back here. We also had 1 leg back there and we had a break. So whenever we just get 1 straight leg, I'm always concerned that this is where we have a break. I like to have 2 legs back before I take a trade. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I left it. It's a bit congested, and the main concern was leg down, 2 attempts to push higher. It's triggered above all this, so there is liquidity there and there. So my concern is that's where we have a break. So 65 points down for the high. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I can't tell you how many dreams I have where I get an email with tomorrow's chart. Can't tell you how many times that happens. Just watched some older Mac videos and stuff that talked about trusting on the key entry points on a good signal bar, so I'm trying hard to trust. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said, but going back over the basics, watching some of old Mac's videos, you know, joining his website again and going back over the basics. Or I've got the manual somewhere. It's here. Keep picking it up and going to read it. I had it ring binded about 4 years ago. I think it's good to go over the basics. You know, I mean, even you look at tennis players like Nadal and people like that. You know, they have coaches. Even though they're some of the best in the world, they still have coaches looking at their technique. You know, they practice the basics, the technique again and again. And sometimes it can be easy to forget the basics, and I think it's good sometimes to go over them. But you know, I think like anything we do in life, you can pick up bad habits for one reason or another. So, but yeah, sometimes you have got to trust things, haven't you? Yeah, that's my phone. Yeah, I think it's important to go over the basics. Never think you know enough. There's always stuff to be learned. But as much as, you know, there are things I wish Mac could do different, I absolutely respect the fact that he's been doing this donkey's years and he knows more than I do. So I think if he says something, you'd be a fool not to listen. So I think it is good to go back over the basics from time to time. It is very easy, isn't it? You know, I don't know. I had I know the company I was with when I used to drive HGVs. Once every 5 years, they send you out with an instructor just to go over your driving, and it's amazing how many bad habits you pick up, and it's amazing how things change. Don't cancel the panel because of ghost orders. Yeah. So, like my chart here, always have the orders and positions tab open, because sometimes when trades close, you'll see orders sitting here. So when that happens, just go into your connections, disconnect, and then reconnect, and they'll disappear. When you come back to it, when it reopens, they'll disappear. If you don't do that, it can set off orders, so that might be why. So always have those. I can't say it enough, really. It's easy to forget. Every single one I've had orders there, it was completely stuck. I'm not sure. Every time I've had them, and if you look back on some of my videos, I would say at least 50% of the time when I get out of a trade, it's showing either positions or orders. But let's have a look. They don't disappear. I was completely stuck. To do the same with Apex Copier. Yeah, see, if you use Apex Copier, I can't vouch for that. What I will say is I use Replicanto and I've never had an issue with it. So I do things a certain way and it works for me. So I kind of do that thing. Use Replicanto. Yeah, I don't quite know why. Next time it happens to me, I'll show you and see what happens. You're on My Funded Futures. Are you on My Funded Futures with Rhythmic or Tradeovate? Tradeovate, yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Tradeovate Ninja, yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Next time I take a trade, see it, I'd say 50% of the time it'll still show orders, and you'll see me disconnect, reconnect, and they disappear. But what you got to make sure as well is this thing here. Always have your positions tab open for Rhythmic. Now, I'm not sure how it works with Tradeovate because I've not really used Tradeovate. But after a trade's finished, the first thing I do is look to see if there's any red crosses there. If they're all greyed out, there's no issues. So, where's this thing going now? So, there is a possibility of an overshoot. I'm not convinced because when I bring it back down there, it fits kind of nice at the midline. So I actually think that's like that. Yeah, I'm not sure how it works. I have used Tradeovate only a few times, a handful of times with My Funded Futures, but I've never had a problem that I've had to get out. But I've been using now Rhythmic with Apex for 2.5, 3 years, I think. And it just kind of, I heard someone say once on one of the forums, don't cancel it or flatten everything, just disconnect it and reconnect it and they'll disappear, and it's worked ever since. So I was looking for a second entry short there, but nothing, unfortunately. You can cancel orders. Yeah, Tradeovate, you can cancel orders. I'm not sure. Never done it. Okay, we've broken the lows there. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So this thing could go up. I'm a bit concerned about a second entry short because we've broken the lows. Could reverse, yeah. It's pretty much kind of rangy, isn't it? 2 legs down. I mean, it may work. It may come out of another go. It's definitely 2 legs up, but as we've broken the lows, and there may possibly be an overshoot. Depends how you look at it, really. What I like about it is it kind of fits quite nice on the midline, so you can see it there. So it, well, there you go. You've just got to be a bit cautious here because that's triggered you and pushing straight up. So I'll be amazed if that doesn't stop that out, which is a shame. But the simple answer is you just got to give it a little bit of time because we've broken the lows there. So unfortunately, I don't see much hope. I'll be amazed if that doesn't tick above there. Yeah, that's a shame. So if anyone was in that short, bad luck. I absolutely get why you take it. Doesn't look like a bad setup. The only downside is one, there may be a bit of an overshoot, and two, it's more or less a rangy kind of a day, isn't it? And we've broken the lows, so I think you've got to be a little bit cautious initially. Yeah. Mind you, what I will say is whenever you see these in the future, losing trades isn't necessarily a bad thing because you do learn lessons from them. You know, I used to jump all over trades like that, but I have a little piece of paper near my desk saying, taking a trade, look left. And if I look left, we've already broken the lows. So that is a red flag. So I tend, what I think the safer option is to wait for the higher low. That's if we get one. Does that channel look nice? It doesn't look too bad, but there may be an overshoot. So there's another red flag. So there's 2 reasons to be cautious there, and I think if there's any caution there, then I think you best wait for the lower high. But the trouble is, when you do lose those trades, you do learn. You know, sometimes it takes a few times, quite a few times if you're me. So I have to learn how to lose gracefully. Yeah, I'm still working on that, Chris. You take it easy, pal. Yeah. You lose gracefully. That's the magic, isn't it? That is. I used to think it was learning the skill, but no, that's that's the, I don't want to say easy bit, but that's the bit that's more, it's just a matter of time. Taking the losses, that's the art, isn't it? Yeah. We're all in the same boat, mate. We all still have our moments. If I wouldn't have got out of that trade earlier, I'd have lost. Luckily, I saw sense that I jumped in a little bit. So we all have our moments, don't we? It's not, it swings and roundabouts, as we say over here. It's kind of ups and downs, isn't it? But over time, things do get better. I mean, if I look back on sometimes I look back in some of my older videos. That's the good thing about streaming. I look back at some of my older videos, and some of the trades I took there were appalling. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But you do learn. But it doesn't happen overnight. It can take a fair few years. But if you stick at it and keep doing it, your rewards will come. You think about some of the money, the potential for earnings. I mean, you could earn a significant amount of money. Though that type of money, it's never going to be easy. Otherwise, everyone will be doing it. Just looking through, seeing how everybody else is doing. I tell you, a guy I watch as well, Tom Hugard. Watch him occasionally. He's good at what he does, and he takes losses as well. He takes a fair share of losses. But when he wins a trade, he makes it count. I tell you who else is good at calm as well is Joe, Trader Joe. He's got a really good attitude for trading. He's going to do well. He is. He still has his fair share of losses, like we all do, but he seems to be very calm about it. He's quite calm-natured. So, and I think that's a plus. So, he's going to do well, I think. I used to pick terrible bar fights. What was I thinking? Huge hockey players. Those hockey players. I don't watch hockey, but I've seen my fair share of hockey punch-ups on YouTube. They're flipping crazy, them people. They're mad, them hockey players. Mind you, the one thing is they have padding, which I suppose takes a sting out of it. And Bart as well. That's another trader I like. He's just a nice guy. I got a lot of time for nice people. There's that many sort of fake people out there. When I find someone who's just a nice person, I got a lot of time from, and he's one of them. You don't hear much from Wilson anymore, do you? He sort of he comes and he goes, doesn't he, Wilson? He'll have a little bit of a splurge and then he kind of disappears. Sean, looks like price is bouncing off support for the third time. On the 10,000 tick chart, I mean. And of course, Nutty as well, another nice guy. Volatility trader as well. He's another nice guy. So, I mean, there's a possibility. Depends how you look at that, Sean, doesn't it? Whether that thing might be coming down again. See, I've got it like that. If I move it like that, it doesn't look terrible, does it? It's fitting nice at the bottoms now. So, I'm still cautious here because. Yeah, we kind of broke those lows and had a pullback, didn't we? And then we dropped and had a bounce, so could push up. Traveling trader is good, but ICT, he does equities. There is quite a few. I'll tell you who has a massive following is young, what's her name? Tanya. She has a massive following, she does. She trades ICT. She gets some serious followers, she does. It's down channel as a break. It's going for a retest. Yeah, I kind of had it as a break like that. Now, with such a move down and such a small break, it's not often it just goes straight down. And if it does that, for me, it's usually because there's a bigger trend. There was a second entry, short entry. Yeah. I'm just cautious here, I am, just in case, because to have a break like that, to come straight down, doesn't often happen. So I'm just a bit cautious. Now, if you look at the 10,000 tick chart, I don't know, you could argue it hasn't had a break. I don't know, though. It's not super clear, is it? Excuse me a sec. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. It's made a new low, it's pushed up, it's had a bounce, it's come back, had another bounce and pushed up again. Is it having a third go, and is it going to push up? I'm not so sure about this. Is this starting to range a little bit? Bounce, bounce. Yeah, see, if that is a little spike and channel, I'd be inclined to wait for the lower high there. But because we've had that couple of bounces, I'm a bit cautious about going down. Yeah, see, Thomas Wade has got there's obviously a possible overshoot. So he's got an overshoot. And sometimes when you get an overshoot, as we know, it does the complete opposite there. So that does look like a correction. But for me, because it's above the EMA, you never know. We've had 2 bounces. It may shoot off in that direction. So the lower high would be the better option, I think. But ultimately, you just never know, really. There's too many reasons to not take that from me personally. Above the daily is and because we've made a new low, you don't know whether this thing's going to rocket up. Yeah, we've had 2 legs up. We've had 2 legs up. What gap we did. Is this 2 legs? Is this thing going to take a turn? So it could go lower. It's hard to say. So now this is better for me. Is this 2 legs up, or are we going to get a triple test and this is going to come down some more? If you look on the daily, it certainly could come down some more. We haven't, if you look on this channel, we haven't broken a new low. So this may be to attempt. So I'm not convinced that is a break. This is, so that it may be just 2 legs. So you may say 1, 2, 3 triple test. It might come down. I don't know. I'm not massively convinced that is a break. Because it still doesn't fit too bad. And when you bring it out a bit like that, the bottoms kind of fit nice. And look how nice the midline works there and there. We've pushed up and touched it there. So I'm looking at something like that. I wouldn't take that because it closes right in the middle of this, and if this is rangy, it could trigger it and push up and give us that full second leg, and it may not. It may just come down, but it's above that EMA for me. I would have to wait for it to touch here again or give us a triple test. Starting to flicker. Concerns me, that does. Now we could have a break. 1, 2 attempts to go lower. Looking on this chart, we got 2 legs up, 1, 2 legs down, and a push up. It's too early to take that short for me. If I was going to take a short here, it would have to be up here. Oh. God, doesn't Obama's wife looking old now all of a sudden, isn't she? Wow, she used to be really pretty. Look at, well, not that she's not pretty, of course, but look how older she looks now. My God, look. She looks really old all of a sudden. Wow. Wow. So 2 attempts to push higher, and this looks like it's going down. It just wasn't high enough for me, that really. You took the lower high, seemed like a sure thing. You stop out, babe. So if there is a small break, one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, I mean, it could bounce. I'm just going to put that back there as a small break. If it is a small break, 2 attempts to push lower, it could reverse now. Not sure about this. Certainly not getting into a trade here anyway. Okay, maybe there's a small break. 2 attempts to push lower. Is this going to reverse? Could well do. High or low above the EMA. You took that one there, did you? Not sure. If it gets above that EMA, it may reverse. Went long there. Two attempts to push low. There is a higher lower form in here. If it closes above that EMA, this may it may reverse. If this is a range day, we've had multiple bounces here. I wouldn't want to take a long here at the moment. I wouldn't want to take a trade period at the moment. Just in case this thing does decide to take a dive. But we've had a small break there. 2 attempts to push lower. So it looks like it's going to come down at least temporarily. Or it could push up. We don't know. It could be 1, 2, 3. That just shut you down. Yeah, it is useful to have that, isn't it? You took that long, did you, there? The triple test long. Yeah. Yeah, it's just eating those up. It's just hard to know here. Yeah, I mean, there is a possibility of a bounce. I mean, it is kind of 2 legs back. But it's just hard to say, isn't it, really? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We've got a small break here, 2 attempts to push higher. I know that's what it used to take a trade very similar. Penguin, we'd had a break, 2 attempts to push low, but he didn't used to take it until it broke above that EMA, indicating we were likely going to stay above it and at least come up to the tops. But it's just hard to say here, isn't it? I don't know whether I consider that a break. If it is, it's a small one. I don't know. What do you do? There's nothing obvious telling me we're going to go down. It may do. If it is rangy, it could hold and push up. So I'm not so sure at the moment. Thought runner would taken off. Just 2 points scalp. 2 points is 2 points, mate. You know, sometimes you get a bit unlucky and the market shoots against you quickly. Other times you get a bit of luck. I mean, depending on what type of trade, a little bit of luck sometimes doesn't go amiss, does it? I'll take it sometimes. You know, we have our fair share of unlucky sometimes, didn't we? Something happens in the news and the thing spikes against you. So if it's a little bit of luck once in a while, you got to take it. First 3 window in a long time. Good on you, mate. Best thing to do now, finish. Go and enjoy the day. I'm nearly done now. What time is it? 3 o'clock here. Yeah, won't let me. Yeah, it's good to have that one. It forces you. Definitely a useful bit of software, that is for sure. Libertarian day gap. Just trying to look at the bigger picture here, just to see what it's. We've had a leg up, 2 legs back, and a second leg up. We had a drop down, made a couple of attempts to push high, and this is going down. Is it continuing down? It may well do. I mean, there could be something like that, couldn't there? I don't know, in all honesty. Okay, I think I'm about done for the day, folks. I'm up a small trade anyway. It's a count. They're all above $50 anyway, so even after fees, so it all counts as a trading day. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. So another day done. Best of luck if you're carrying on trading. Failing that, I'll be back tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.